Hey Rob,
Hiya.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Sorry.
no worries. Yeah,
It's
it's
alright.
obviously a crazy time for you at the moment, as you were saying. Are you in pre-production at the moment?
It's fucking mad, yeah, and because it's with Blumhouse, so it's like my day basically begins over again as soon as the Americans wake up. So I was up until God knows when last night,
Yes, you've
and
got no chance for sleep now.
no, exactly. But yeah, no, thanks for pushing back a little bit. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, it's just great. We were really happy to kind of bag host as part of the film festival this time round.
Yeah,
We both watched it and we were like, this is amazing. Let's speak to Sam at Shudder and see what we can do.
yeah,
Um, and Sam's great. Like the stuff Shudder's doing at the moment is amazing, and all the projects they're kind of greenlighting. So yeah, it's cool.
yeah, and they've got all their originals coming up, haven't they? They're doing a new original every week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they are.
October,
It's
yeah,
perfect timing. Perfect time for Halloween.
Yeah. No, they've been great, honestly, and it's really it's really lovely to have hosts playing at festivals. It felt like we might when we made it, we thought we might miss out on all of that part of it, but it's really nice that it's getting that kind of play.
yeah. Were you at the BFI? Was it last month to show it for kind of the first time?
Yeah, we've got it again. We've got it again on Monday, I think, and then we're at the Prince Charles in London for a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
we're kind of doing like Halloween because we've got a proper cinema release. If unless we're all locked inside, then we've got a proper cinema release for nearer Christmas. So, but we're doing like Halloween previews. So, uh, yeah, it'd be fun. It's way more fun watching it with an audience. I mean, that's how horror movies are meant to be watched. It's so gratifying to see everyone's sit at the back and watch everyone's shoulders jump at all the scares.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, putting it on the big screen, you kind of notice a lot of stuff in the background. Or I did like second time round. You go, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't quite pick up on that last time.
Yeah. Did you spot Alan's legs?
No,
Fuck, nobody. It's like the most expensive shot. It's like the most expensive shot in the movie,
I
and
know.
like nobody's seen it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look out for it next time now when we show it
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
festival. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we were reading last night. So did this all come about just from like a prank that you played on a Zoom call then during lockdown?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I was doing what everyone does, and I was just hanging out like this, and getting drunk with my friends every night on Zoom happy hours, and doing quizzes and all that kind of stuff. Uh, and I had actually been hearing strange noises from my attic before lockdown, but I just kind of ignored them because I guess I'm that stupid guy in every horror movie. And then lockdown happened, and I was suddenly trapped in the house with potentially someone upstairs, and so I went and investigated, and there wasn't a serial killer living in my attic, but it was creepy as fuck. And I was like, okay, I can use this to scare the shit out of my friends. So I kind of created out of like cardboard and sticky tape this weird contraption which attached to the front of my laptop, which meant that I could be like on my phone on a Zoom call, and then with a bit of like clumsy, you know, positioning, I could go from filming myself to like putting it right in front of my laptop screen,
Yeah.
and then being able to press play on a horror movie clip. So I told them, get on a Zoom call with me. I need you there for emotional support. Let's go up into my attic and check if the serial killer's about. And then I did this little switcheroo and played them the clip from Wreck where the cameraman goes up into the attic and has the zombie child jump out on their face. So, it freaked them right out, and then put that online, and it ended up kind of blowing up and becoming this little viral thing. That we kind of thought that would be it, that would be our big thing for lockdown. We made a viral video. But weirdly, like everyone on that call, I guess, I mean, I'm a pretty boring person, and I just hang out with the people I work with anyway. So like everyone on that call, basically everyone that I would need to make a movie. So it was, all the cast of hosts are in that original prank video, our
Yeah.
VFX supervisor, our costume designer. So it kind of felt like we'd be stupid not to try and make a movie off the back of the viral success.
Yeah, and so how did that come about then? Was it sort of you got a load of phone calls off the back of that tweet, and it was kind of like everyone was after you, or was it should have got there first, or how did it come about?
No, we had lots of interest. I mean, it was really like, it's right during the beginning of lockdown, and it really nobody knew what the rest of the year was going to look like and whether we'd be able to shoot anything again. And to be honest, like the reality was a lot of people didn't know that it was a prank. They thought that we'd acted it out, and they thought that somehow I'd kind of materialized this zombie child because they didn't recognize the clip from Wreck. So a lot of companies got in touch and were like, "It's amazing! How did you do that zombie in lockdown? Have you got a longer version of this?" And I honestly hadn't even thought about it, doing a feature or doing a longer version of the video. But when somebody calls you up and says, "Have you got a longer idea?" you say yes, and then you just think of it afterwards. So I was like, "Yeah, we've got something in our back pocket." And then me and Jed Shepherd just got on the phone and started throwing ideas back and forth. We kind of got this really loose idea together for what a feature might look like. And then we just pitched it around. We pitched it to everyone. We got a huge amount of interest. And, there were lots of big studios and big buyers. And it was really, there's a real kind of bidding war on it. But Shudder were the only ones who really got on board with us just figuring it out as we went along and making it in our own way and not having to have all the controls and parameters that you'd usually expect from making a feature film. They were totally hands off, because the pitch was basically, we've got a one sentence idea, it's a Zoom seance and it's going to be really scary and we don't know how we're going to do it. We don't know what it's going to be. We don't know who's going to be in it. We don't know anything, but do you want to join us on this journey and figure it out with us? And Shudder were just like, yeah, that sounds cool. And I don't think we would have been able to make it. We'd still be making it now if we were working with the other companies.
Yeah, and I think with those parameters as well, I think the great thing about Host is kind of it feels real because it's on Zoom, and clearly you guys were stuck having to do your own lighting, your own hair and makeup from home. All the cast are kind of there in their own little bubble. And you've kind of got to figure all that out, and it kind of brings an authenticity to it, which is amazing. Yeah,
I mean, that's what I wanted to lean into, because we knew that we get compared to films like Unfriended, and and which are movies that I love, and I like. I watch them again as inspiration for this. But it's a very kind of specific type of filmmaking that comes more from the kind of Hollywood way of doing things, and they feel a bit more polished, even though they do really interesting things with the format. It felt like structurally it was closer to a more conventional Hollywood horror movie, and I wanted to make something that felt like you'd accidentally just clicked onto somebody's Zoom call and everything unfolding in real time in front of you felt like the most authentic version of that. And that was really, as we were going through the film and we improvised most of it, that was the question we always kept coming back to. Is like, what's the most authentic version of this? This crazy thing happens. How do you react? What's the next thing? And we were really building it, in continuity like that, and making the film day by day, me and the actors.
I mean, I think that's the great thing about Host. It feels like you're part of it. It's very interactive. And the fact that, I mean, I've heard that they're all familiar with you, your friends, the cast in it, and it was your own locations.
Yeah.
Is that something, that close production, that you would like to continue within your future films?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this next one that we're doing for Blumhouse, we're definitely taking a lot from Host, and I think one of the things that you can't fake is having people on screen being authentically themselves, and you can just feel that, like, those guys are friends, they're not acting it out. There's no artifice there, and that just allows you to engage with them much more quickly. I mean, you have 10 minutes of kind of preamble before they start getting thrown around the room, and that's so important. It's to feel like they're a real friend group and feel the authenticity there and feel like they're in their own spaces. If we'd have put them into a set, it would have felt different. The way they're at ease in their space, and the way that we kind of use all these elements of their lives and their own history, and using their own names. I mean, it all kind of accumulates into something that feels very authentic. And I think that's, you're always striving for authenticity in horror movies. It's what allows you to kind of switch off that part of your brain that says, okay, I know I'm watching something constructed, and actually engage and get terrified. And I think, and also there's a huge amount of trust that goes with that, and that's something that I've really taken on board, is opening yourself up to other people's contributions and their ideas, and having other people feel like kind of co-authors in the movie with you. It only makes the movie better. It's not a detriment to you. And I feel like a lot of filmmakers feel like you need to almost be a dictator, and every idea needs to come from you, and what's written in the script is sacrosanct, and it's one way of doing things. But I think actually putting more trust in your collaborators, you always end up with a better final product. So we're taking that onto the next movie as well. Yeah, no, it was like the whole thing was a really eye-opening experience for me.
Yeah, it was a really natural flow, I think, and it was incredibly like sort of immersive. So
Yeah.
when I was watching it, I was